We're going to go out to the hotline here and bring in, you know him from Waiting for Next Year, and his stuff from The Athletic. He just published a piece the other day on The Athletic. He is Michael Hattery. Michael, welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, Nick. Thanks for having me on.
Well, I just got to ask you, Kipnis directly rebuked the idea that he is into launch angles. He was almost insulted. Was he coming at you specifically?
I hope so, but I don't think I'm important enough to do that.
Oh, see, this is why you got to get that baseball guy mentality of not only are you good enough for this, but damn it, it has to be about you. When we talk there about Jason Kipnis and the renewed power, is there a spot that you think in 2018 that he will best benefit the Cleveland Indians if he ends up at that specific spot?
Yeah, I think second base makes a ton of sense, and I know. Look, Jose Ramirez looks way, way cooler playing second base defensively, but, Kipnis can play there competently. He doesn't have to learn left field, and if we're actually optimistic about Brantley playing for most of the season, I just don't think there's any other place that he can be productive other than second base or left field. So I think second base has to be it, and I think his bat plays really well at that position, even though that position is loaded in the big leagues.
Can I ask you about that? Because I have fought the good fight this winter about the value of Jason Kipnis and the way that I think he changes the offense when healthy. To kind of have it said again in a different voice, what is his value to the Indians' offense? How does he change their offense if he's healthy and ready to go come March 29th?
It's exceptional because this offense needs more depth. At the end of the season, the offense looked exceptional. You were running out Santana, who might be a little better than Alonso, and you're running out Jay Bruce. This is an offense that's going to need his bat back. And if Brantley does not play a ton, it's definitely going to need his bat back. And that bat was special for 3 of the last 5 years. 15, 20 homers, 30-plus doubles, 15-plus steals. And he was able to be malleable in every part of the lineup. He was a really good matchup tool for Tito to move up and down, much the way Santana would, and he adapted his offensive profile based on where he was in the lineup. And he's just phenomenal when he's healthy. I think people forget that he was an all-star 2 times in the last 5 years, and his bat was that exceptional.
I'm glad to have another Kipnis apologist here on air. Mike Hattery of Waiting for Next Year, also at Hardball Times and The Athletic as a contributor, joining us on the hotline. I'm curious if you have a take on this, because we don't really have a lot of empirical big league data on this. Eric Gonzalez versus Giovanni Urshela. Who do you want to see make the roster if it comes down to picking one or two of those guys?
Can I pick Eric Stamos? I'll go with Gonzo. I just based on positional versatility, I trust him more playing short and second. I think their bats are both. If you want to pick one guy and say their bat's better, that's fine. I don't think there's a lot of empirical evidence either way. Urshela doesn't hit the ball hard enough. Gonzalez strikes out too much at the big league level, so I think you're sort of just picking, which flaw or which offensive gamble you want to make more. But I think Gonzalez's versatility and history of playing shortstop have to sort of set him up in an advantage in that sense.
Did you say John Stamos?
I wish.
I think we all wish John Stamos. Now, I think that leaves us with a pitching staff. Trevor Bauer, there was a great article from Zach Meisel on the Athletic about Trevor Bauer picking up a new slider this offseason. For you, obviously he's got a pretty expansive pitching repertoire. What do you think that slider, good or bad, could do to a guy who had a breakout season in 2017?
I think he could do a ton. But I think, once again, the biggest barrier for him is always going to be fastball velocity and fastball command and control. He has really good secondary pitches, be it breaking ball and changeup. And slider, I think the slider could be phenomenal, but I think the big question for him remains, can he improve his fastball command? Can he continue to make gains in that category? And that, to me, is a little bigger than whether the slider is an average pitch or a plus pitch. I want to see that he can diminish walks some more and command the strike zone.
Do you think he's a candidate for aggression this year?
No, I like him to stay where he's at or make a small gain. I mean, he's a brilliant guy who just constantly knows how to make adjustments, and I think that's exceptional. He's someone who has improved in his ability to induce ground balls, which in the era of launch angle is a huge key to limiting damage. So I think just because of his capacity to make adjustments, I think he's gonna stay flat or improve this year.
Mike Hattery on the hotline. I wanted to conclude with this. The bullpen is something I'm going to be talking about in the next segment, but I think it's an interesting thing because I trust the names in the bullpen. I just don't know if I trust them in the roles they're going to be in. How long do you think that's going to take to kind of, whether it's from Tito ferreting out where to use guys and how to use them, or to get the right mix of guys in the pen?
Yeah, I think it could be really weird. I really like Nick Goody, but I think you have a lot of guys who haven't proven they can handle high leverage, and then you have two elite guys in high leverage, and somebody's going to have to get comfortable pitching in high leverage and pitching in the seventh inning a lot. I'm just not sure that Zach McAllister. He's never had a decent enough second pitch, and I don't think we know enough to say Nick Goody can do it. I think it's possible, but I don't know. So I think it's going to take a while, and it may not be any of those guys that open the year with the club.
Mike, excellent first run here on the broadcast, and just remember, until we have you on again, we'll always have John Stamos.
Darn right.
All right, everybody, we want to welcome on in one of the podcast sponsors, Minuteman Tickets. We've got Scott and Matt on the other end of the line. How's it going, guys?
Hey, doing well down here in Columbus. How's things up in Cleveland?
Well, it is snowing, which is pretty typical for Cleveland. First of all, I want to thank you for being a podcast sponsor. It's a real cool thing for us to have a podcast sponsor, especially one that makes sense for what we do, talking about sports all the time.
Yeah, we're happy to be on board. It's really exciting for us as well. You know, both of us have pretty good roots in Northeast Ohio outside of our living here in Central Ohio, so it's good to head up I-71 to see you guys.
Yeah, so you guys are in the ticket industry, but you're doing it a little bit differently. You're bringing service back. It's for you guys. It's a service business. You actually want people to pick up the phone and call you. I think that's kind of cool. It creates a little bit of accountability for when somebody buys tickets. If they've got a point of contact, if there are any issues whatsoever, they can kind of fill their. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're just glancing at a website. So it's good to have kind of a human touch in the process.
Yeah. You know, like you said, you know, when people give us a call here, the phone number is 614-943-3000. Not to be too salesy, but they can give us a call, and what they get is a quote, and the quote is fee-free, tax-free. If we quoted you $50 a ticket, that's what it is. And we like to be able to provide that service, and for you guys to know you have somebody you can call. And that's a benefit that we wish we had 10 years ago when we weren't in the business, when we were consumers just like everybody else.
Yeah, that's the coolest thing is when you load up a couple of tickets on an app and then it's $50 a piece, and then you're at the checkout and it's really like $75 a piece once all the fees get plopped in at the last possible second.
Yeah, that's one of the worst things we really hate about what's going on in the ticketing industry is, you know, you think you're buying a $50 ticket, and I guess how many times people have called us up and asking about the price for a ticket, and they're like, well, we see it on, you know, wherever for, you know, $100 a ticket. Well, all right, here, when you click that button there that says add with fees, it's $130, right? Wouldn't you rather just pay the price you know you're expecting to pay? It's kind of a bait and switch, and so that's something that we're really not a big fan of whatsoever, and we try to actively make sure people know exactly what they're paying versus hiding stuff on them before they end up actually giving away their hard-earned money.
So one of the things we talked about with Minuteman Tickets heading into this sponsorship was the fact that the NCAA tournament's coming up and everyone's got a pick'em pool, and we've got Minuteman Madness. MinutemanMadness.com is open for business already. There's a main group in there, and you guys are going to do prizes for that. But just for us, just for people who join the WFNY group, there's going to be a prize, some Indians tickets, Friday, May 11th. It's a Friday night. Should be a hopefully in May there won't be snow like there is today, and it'll be but it's cool. So it doesn't cost anything. You know you're going to enter way too many pools. Make this one of them, because there's an actual prize. It's going to be it's hopefully the WFNY group is a little bit smaller than the main group, and so you'll have an even better chance to win a prize. So thanks for putting up a prize, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, not a problem. A good game against Kansas City, probably two of the teams that are going to sit atop the AL Central there. I figure it'll be a good game on a Friday night. Go out, have a good time. Hopefully the weather gets nice by then. Not snow like you're experiencing.
So are we.
So do you guys actually keep up with NCAA basketball? I'm at this point in my life, I've got two kids, two boys, 7 and 5, and I watch the Cavaliers. I try and keep up with spring training. I try and keep up with the Cleveland Browns draft. And so by the time college basketball rolls around anymore, I'm now like one of those hacky people that might as well just flip a coin to fill out my bracket. Are you guys able to keep up with it at this point?
Yeah, certainly a little bit with the Buckeyes being a lot better this year. That really helped us. You know, obviously we're big fans of March Madness, running Minuteman Madness, but I think with Ohio State being good for the first time in a couple of years, it's certainly been a lot more interest for us down here. I mean, the Buckeyes at one point looked like they were going to win the Big Ten regular season title. So, yeah, that was exciting to see, but it's kind of a goofy year in college basketball. You know, there's not really one great team. I mean, Virginia's kind of the unanimous number one in the country right now, but do they really scare anybody in the top 20? I certainly don't think so. So, you know, I wouldn't say that we are, one of the experts on ESPN here, but I do think we pay more than enough attention to it to say that this is going to be a mayhem tournament, which of course means it's going to be all chalk. So,
it'll be fun though, because it's always fun, and it's even more fun in years where there isn't like an obvious juggernaut kind of a team. And so the fact that there's a unanimous kind of number one overall, but nobody feels like they're infallible, that actually makes for a really great tournament.
Yeah. I mean, there's like 4, 5, 6 teams out there. I think you can talk about Purdue, Michigan State, Villanova, Virginia. There's a few others out there that really have a legit look. I mean, can you ever count out Duke or North Carolina? I think somehow they're always in the game at the end of it. So I think there's a good 5, 6, 7 teams that have, you know, a legitimate argument that, hey, we could make the NCAA championship game and take it home, you know?
So I'm not sure if either one of you guys is actually Browns fans or not, but it almost doesn't matter, because with the Browns having the number 1 and the number 4 picks in the draft, everybody is thinking about the Browns right now. Everybody has a take. So what if you were running the draft, if they were, first of all, who is your favorite team? And if you were running the Browns and you wanted them to be good, not bad, what would you do with 1 and 4? Because that's been a hot topic of conversation waiting for next year, and we're pretty unanimous staying away from Saquon Barkley at number 1, but we don't have much of a consensus on which quarterback we would take.
So are you guys staying away from Saquon Barkley at 1 and 4, or just 1?
I personally would stay away at 1 and 4 just because of running back. But other guys would consider him at 4.
Yeah, I would certainly think you have to take Saquon Barkley at 4 if you have him. He's the best running back in college football this year, and he's a beast. So if I'm the Browns, I would certainly put Saquon Barkley at their number 4 draft slot. At number 1, whoever you guys take at quarterback, you know he's going to end up having horrible misfortunes. He's going to get attacked by a swarm of bees. You know, his Minuteman Madness bracket will end up losing every team in the first round. That's just what happens to Browns quarterbacks. So I'm just going to say I won't curse anybody with hoping the Browns take them number 1 overall.
You sound like a Bengals fan or something. Are you not a Browns fan?
I am not a Browns fan, but I'm also not a Bengals fan,
okay,
sir.
I would tell you I'm a New England Patriots fan, so up there we kind of just believe in Bill, right? But if I was in Cleveland, I think the path is fairly simple. I think you've got to get Kirk Cousins here, and I don't care how much you got to pay him. You get a quarterback in town, and now you got the 1st and the 4th pick to fix it up. Your defense wasn't all that terrible last year. Sure, linebacking, we can do some work there, kind of cover that tight end a little bit. But I think you go out there, you sign Kirk Cousins, you start at that point. Sure, you take Saquon Barkley at 4. Sure, you can trade the one out and get some more draft picks next year and take a look at, after you've done some of this work, take a look at, hey, maybe we can improve this or maybe we can improve that. But you've got a couple wide receivers. If you've got a quarterback that can throw the ball to him and you've got a running back, Barkley, at 4, or maybe you even trade down to 8 or 10 and hope that he slides that far. It may be a wish and a hope and a prayer, but, hey, anything could happen. Take Barkley, something like that. And now you've got a running back, you've got a quarterback, you've got some wide receivers, and you got a defense that's halfway decent. And is a 500 season all that far away when you get those pieces in place? I don't think that's all that far away. I'm not all too afraid of the Ravens or the Bengals at that point for sure. I mean, I think you got to finish ahead of those guys. Go for it.
Yeah, no, it's you're in very good company with that take. Joe Thomas certainly agrees with you. He's been in the tank for the Kirk Cousins thing, and I understand that one. I'm game. That's the only way that I'm not using that number 1 overall pick on a quarterback is if you get Kirk Cousins, because whether or not I believe in him or you believe in him, if the Browns sign him, they're committing to him for at least the next 3 years and probably more like 5. So. But I really appreciate you guys coming on. It's fun to chat. I hope we can do it again soon. And thanks for putting up the prize for the Waiting for Next Year part of Minuteman Madness. That's MinutemanMadness.com. And of course, if you actually need tickets, not just competing in our contest, it's MinutemanTickets.com. Go browse there and then pick up the phone, call 614-943-3000 and talk to Scott or Matt, or maybe both of them. You guys work any calls together?
Maybe not at the same time, but there's been times where we've had the phones ringing a lot. And I want to add one other thing, too, about Minuteman Madness. Not only is it free to enter, but the Indians game prize isn't the only prize you're eligible for if you're part of your group. You're still eligible for the big group prizes. That's a 4-game trip to Boston, to Fenway Park, to see your favorite Major League Baseball team and you're part of the state of Ohio play. And that is an all-expense-paid trip. There's a prize that takes you out to Las Vegas, all expenses paid except your gambling, to see another Ohio professional sports team play against the Vegas recent expansion squad that they have out there. There's prizes for baseball, basketball, college football. There's all kinds of great stuff that you guys can win at MinutemanMadness.com. So, it's free to enter, and you can not only be eligible to win the big prizes, but also the podcast prize as well, which is the Indians Royals on the 11th. So don't forget that whenever you're thinking of signing up. It's free, and you have the chance to win all these great prizes.
100 winners, $20,000 in prizes. We definitely emptied the treasure chest this year.
That's really cool, and I hope everybody appreciates the language and the safety language that was used, not to violate any terms by vaguely referring to all the prizes. Man, that was masterful. I appreciate you guys coming on. That was awesome.
We haven't had a little bit of practice or anything at this, not at all.
All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having us.